Hey fellow Vault Dwellers, it's Angry Turtle, and today I have for you a new build. This time, full health heavy gunner without VATS, focusing on explosive Gatling plasma as a main weapon. It is very capable build. You were able to see it in action actually in my last video yesterday when I used it to kill a Guardian EN06 without using VATS. So it is absolutely possible. This is very powerful build. And yes, I do have all kind of endgame gear, as you can see in here. It does work without all the endgame gear. Of course, your power goes up. More stuff you add up. That's just the life. That's how it is. Now, so, step by step. Special distribution for no VATS heavy gunner. We have strength perception, and so on. You can see exact numbers if you want to copy it exactly as I do have. It is further increased by legendary special agility, intelligence, and endurance. So just plus 15, which is, I would say, relatively low compared to my other builds that I was using plus 20. Yes, there's so many good perks currently in game, but if you are not using VATS, it's much lighter on perks. Taking one for the team for damage, electric absorption for super tankiness, and funky deaths for even more tankiness. Are those really essential? No, they just help. The special is kind of essential. Electric absorption and funky deaths, that's just helpful. A little bit of extra on top, like a cherry on top. Now the perks. I will not stop too long on the common perks, as you know them. That's not really drastically different than other heavy gunner builds are. There are some differences, as we can skip all VATS related stuff. So we do have some carry weight, as this time around I'm not wearing a power armor with Through Hiker, so I have Traveling Pharmacy, Under Strength, all heavy gunner perks, and Bear Arms. Yes, I have lots of stuff that I need to carry. Under Perception, the fire in the hole, you know what that is for. For expeditions when I run them. Grenadier, as we are using explosive weapons. Concentrated fire, just in case I will need to use it. I usually don't, but just in case, there is here. Endurance, it's our tankiness from Life Giver, Iron Stomach, Natural Resistance, Bullet Shield, Fireproof, all tankiness, and the only two that are not for tankiness is Star Genes to keep mutations and Through Hiker for carry weight. Charisma Bodyguard, Strength in Numbers, Travel Agent, Tenderizer. Honestly, you could go with 2 Charisma less. The reason those are here so I can share a tier 2 card. So I can share something like Life Giver, for example. So I can share it. That's why there is 6 Charisma. That's the only reason. You don't need 6. You can go with 4. If you want to make this build blooded, just add a little bit more to endurance, to intelligence, and add nerd rage, as that's a full health build, so there is no nerd rage, there is first aid, stabilized, demolition expert, and batteries included. Under agility, we don't need much, so born survival and max out adrenaline. I don't need any high amount of action points or AP regions, so I don't need to worry about it, as there is no VATS. Then luck, bloody mess for damage, ricochet for tankiness. I do have cap collector, can be swapped for whatever you want. That's one free point you can take from here. Class freak for mutation, junk shield for tankiness, good with salt to keep foot, and 1 gun army. If you want to make it blooded, basically take away 1 point from luck, 2 points from charisma, add it to intelligence, add nerd rage, and your build is already blooded, if you prefer. It will do more damage, yes, that's true. If you go blooded, you will do even more damage. But for me, damage is already not a problem, at least not for everyday case scenario. Mutations for this build. Even though it is a full health, adrenaline reaction is here, as I'm not manually using Stimpack, so sometimes my health will drop and I will get free damage bonus. Bird Bones, mainly to avoid power landing. Carnivore, that's the easy food. The best. Eagle Eyes, there is barely any side effects, so I will take occasional critical damage boost, even though I don't use that almost never, but I will if enemies very far away and maybe flying like Scourgebeast to help me out, cripple the wing, so Eagle Eyes will help a little. 1 strength penalty, I can live with that. I'm already super tanky, so empath is fine. I'm helping my teammates. Herd mentality, free special, marsupial for jumping, scully skin to be even more tanky, and speed demon to move faster and reload faster. Of course, if you notice that you are too squishy, don't take empath. I noticed that I'm too tanky, so I can have empath. Weapons. So there is like one really being used a lot. So Gatling plasma. And okay, that's one, but not this one. Okay, I have more of them, but for this build, yeah, this one. This one is for this build. The other one you know from my VATS build. That's for non-VATS build. Very fun to use. Anti-armor, explosive, endurance for tankiness, because you can if you don't need VATS stuff. And recoil and stability plus 50%. So super. That works so good. This effect works so good for non-VATS. You will see in a moment the showcase in practice. There is another one as well. So this one, instead of stability, I do have polished, which gives me extra damage, and I want to use it just in case at some point Bethesda changes how durability works. I hope they don't, but at this moment, durability, this 3-star, if you slot it in, it locks the durability. It's basically not breaking at all, so I can have full 60% bonus from this star, and it's awesome. It's awesome, especially on the explosive one. Never breaks, always provides a full bonus. I hope it stays like that as long as possible, but I will use it for now just in case it ever changes. You could use any other heavy gun. This is the most powerful one, so I want to show you the most powerful one rather than the weaker versions. And then I'm running a full set of Vulcan, but what's worth to mention here, gimbal bracers on arms, so that's even more stability when firing heavy guns. Even more. It's super cool. If you don't have this power armor, you can still do very, very good, because the weapon stability effect 4-star is way more powerful than even the 2 gimbal bracers. Yes, they do stack, so I have both, and you probably notice this power armor is all rangers, so extra 25% damage for my Gatling plasma. Very helpful for full health builds, and if you are not using VATS, you don't really need anything else. I know it's hard to get full set of rangers. I just finished it now, so I know it's hard, and I played hundreds of raids, so it's hard. But eventually you will get it, even if you have 1 or 2 pieces. That's a little bit of help. Now, the combat scenario. Yesterday I already showed the Guardian, so let's show some other enemies. Starting with the super stability. Why I like it? Because I can hip fire with extreme accuracy. Look at that. Look at that. I don't need to aim down the sight. I personally do not like aiming down the sight too much. I mean, you can if you like it, like it works. Even more accuracy. But quite often I do play in first person, and if you aim in first person, it's obscuring a lot of views, so look how much easier it is if you like to play in first person to fire like that. And look what's happening with this level 100 Scourge Beast without the need to use VATS and those regular enemies and the stability. Like, I'm not countering any recoil as there is no recoil. A little bit, you can see it slightly moving upwards when you fire, but that's a no recoil. Like a sniper. Look at this damage. I normally do not like explosive weapons, but this Gatling plasma when used out of VATS is easier to stay away from enemies. It's not bad. It's not as blinding effect as other explosions. Now, the more powerful one, so the other Gatling plasma, let's use other one. This one offers more damage, but do not have this cool stability effect. For everyday enemies, I really prefer the stability. The difference in damage is not needed for regular enemies. As you are able to notice by my crosshair, it's still very stable. When I'm firing, the recoil though is present. As you can see, recoil is more visible. Without this stability, even with stabilized spare card and both gimbals, you may notice. Oh, and I probably crippled the wing by firing at her, as I do have 1 gun army on this build. So look how How nice it is. That's a legendary level 100 Scourge Beast, so we are not killing a soft enemies like Scourge. Like Scourge basically evaporate with a quick burst. I currently do not have a jetpack equipped. I did put on Medic's torso for the Guardian fight. But I will probably go back. I will probably go back to jetpack. As for regular enemies, as you can see, tankiness is really not a problem. So that's the build. Incredible power and super fun. I did it recently. I didn't even plan to stay on this build, but I had so much fun now, but I'm staying on this build for a while. It's way more fun than I anticipated with all this stuff put together. It is so capable that I don't really need to force myself and use VATS all the time. VATS, I'm not gonna lie, VATS on bosses is more damage than not VATS. So it would do more damage, but without focusing on VATS, I can still do significant amount of damage to bosses, like contribute, and I don't need so much stuff, like I don't need to worry about fusion cores, coffee, all the luck to be at 33. That's not my worry. I have much more freedom about using those off-meta effects, like stabilizers on my weapon and endurance. So I can do that. And with all this endurance that I have everywhere, including power armor, I do have like 577 max health without trying and boosting it. So I don't need to boost it. That's my normal health, close to 600. So this feels really good. I recommend you try it and let me know what you think. How does it feel for you if you can put your hands on some stabilizers 4-star legendary. And that being said, thank you all for watching and see you all in the next one.